Hey, and welcome to the crypto update. What's been happening this week? Well, first and foremost, I think we get straight to it. Trump hits the gas on tariffs while Wall Street slams the brakes. The president announced 25% tariffs on imported cars and auto parts. Well, why are we talking about this when we're looking at crypto? Very simply, the macro is absolutely affecting risk on assets, the stock market, and crypto alike. These tariffs and the whole overall tariff uncertainty that's been created by the Trump administration is causing uncertainty. Uncertainty creates some panic, and certainly investors don't like uncertainty. So we're going to see a pullback off this announcement. It's a huge announcement. The car manufacturers' prices have come back quite a lot on the reaction to this. Tesla has actually grown because it is actually manufactured in the US, and so that would see to potentially benefit from this. But what does it mean to the overall markets? Well, if Trump is going to go really strong on tariffs, it's going to have a very negative effect on the markets, risk on assets, and crypto. April 2nd, he's coming out with what he's calling Liberation Day, where he's announcing all these tariffs. This tariff has been announced. The market has pulled back, crypto has come back a little bit, but I don't think people are taking it fully seriously yet. And if he comes out and stands over this and actually puts this through on April 2nd, then I think you'll see the market have a significant more pullback. But then he could flip-flop like he's done with lots of other tariffs where they're on, they're off, they're on again. And so that's why I believe it's not priced in yet. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens from here. But certainly plenty of volatility lies ahead. With crypto, well, in crypto, of course, you can't talk about crypto these days, or certainly Bitcoin, without talking about strategy. And here's a snapshot of their total holdings. So current Bitcoin holdings are over 506,000 Bitcoin. Nearly 2.5% of the total supply of Bitcoin is now holding. They have spent 33.7 billion in total. Their average price is just over 66,600, and the unrealized profit is 10 billion. With this sort of success, you'd imagine auditors would look at this and see should they be doing something similar. And of course, there is already one company doing that, and that's Metaplanet, based in Japan, who have very much been copying the playbook here with smaller numbers, but very much copying the playbook. On top of that, they've just bought recently, and they've appointed Eric Trump to the advisory board. Another 12.6 million worth of Bitcoin bought there. But again, is there others that will look at this and follow? Roll on. Gamestop. Gamestop are to add Bitcoin to the balance sheet. Gamestop announced update to its investment policy to add Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. Why is this important? Well, because GameStop is sitting on 4.77 billion in cash as of February 1st. And why does that matter? Well, if you consider MicroStrategy, and we've just seen how big they've become on their Bitcoin strategy, they actually started out with about 700 million on their balance sheet when they started their Bitcoin policy. GameStop have nearly 7 times that amount of money in play. And they haven't just sat and said what they're going to do straight away. They've come out and said they're raising 1.3 billion to purchase Bitcoin. Interesting space. More and more companies are going to move this way, because when they do, their share price moves significantly. GameStop is already up about 12% since this announcement. What else we got on Bitcoin? So we've got Cathie Wood, is the founder of CEO of ARK Invest and a long-time Bitcoin bull. In her latest Bloomberg interview, Cathie Woods didn't flinch when asked if she still believes Bitcoin is heading to 1.5 million by 2020, because of course the market was pulling back, and of course there's that uncertainty, and so she was being pressed on this. She's not backing down. To her, 1.5 million per Bitcoin by 2030 isn't the moonshot case, in other words, the absolute best case. It's her base case. It could be higher. What else have we got? We've got stablecoins. So why are we talking about stablecoins? Stablecoins are the liquidity of the crypto market. What's happening with stablecoins? The last time we checked in the metric, stablecoin market was 204 billion. Today, that number is over 207. That's an increase of 2.47 billion in just the last 2 weeks. It's absolutely climbing. Stablecoins on our tears in 2025 with a year-to-date increase of 21.97 billion. So nearly 22 billion more in stablecoin just this year. And if you look over the last 12 months, it's climbed by 63% from 138 billion to 225 billion. And remember, this is capital ready to go to be deployed into the crypto market. So that's going to be huge when the market turns. And with that, that brings us on to the crossover between Ethereum and stablecoins. So Ethereum dominates the stablecoin supply with 130 billion as of today, thanks to its massive lending and trading infrastructure. Why is this important? Well, we can see that stablecoins are a huge part of indicating what's coming down the tracks and where it's going to be deployed. Ethereum is by far the biggest player when it comes to stablecoin supply. On top of that, on other Ethereum news, we see Fidelity files for a US Treasury fund on-chain on Ethereum, with the SEC expecting the product to go live on May 30th. As well as that, we've got Custodia and Vantage Bank launch Avid, the first US bank-backed stablecoin on Ethereum. On top of this, we look at real-world assets, something that's an area that most people expect to grow really rapidly over the next coming years. It's already grown hugely rapidly in the last 2 years, and you can see within that, 54% of all RWAs are live on Ethereum, and that jumps to 77% if you include Ethereum Layer 2s. So it's got a huge majority on what's happening with regards to real-world assets. On top of that, if you look at Ethereum staking, as of today, there's over 59,000 Ethereum staked. That's an increase of over 970,000 in just the past 2 weeks. That's nearly another 2 billion of Ethereum being staked. You can see the blue line here is the continuous increase of Ethereum being staked, and black is the price, going pretty much sideways. What's happening with Ethereum? Well, now nearly 50% of all Ethereum is staked, and we showed you in the last update last week that Ethereum bulls, the biggest Ethereum holders out there, are buying up huge amounts of Ethereum right now off exchanges. So what are we seeing with Ethereum? We're seeing that it's got the biggest stablecoin supply by a distance, and that's growing very rapidly. It's got a huge amount, nearly 50% of all of Ethereum being staked, a huge amount of what's left being bought up off the exchanges. Are we in for a supply shock with Ethereum? The biggest builders, the biggest companies are building on top of Ethereum. It's an interesting place at the minute. So on top of that, we look at tokenization. BlackRock, 1.9 billion tokenized treasury fund build, just expand it to its 7th chain on Solana. And as well as that, Build tokenized fund tripled in just 3 weeks as Bitcoin stalls. So as Bitcoin starting to go sideways, or we see some outflows from the Bitcoin ETFs, that lack of momentum may drive further interest in safer investments such as tokenized real-world assets, which are approaching the 20 billion record milestone. So what we're seeing here is huge momentum towards real-world assets, tokenization, by the very biggest money out there. They're all building on top of Ethereum. Ethereum has the biggest amount of money ready to go in stable coins. And we've got a project coming up in our coin report very shortly, so watch out for that covers all of these things: tokenization, real-world assets, and Ethereum. So watch out for that one. But certainly we've been talking about Ethereum for a couple of months now. When the tide turns here, Ethereum is one that's going to move really rapidly and very well, I believe. Lastly, we've got Hahn Ventures targets 1 billion for new crypto fund. State of play. So Hahn Ventures, led by former DOJ prosecutor and A16Z alumna Kate Hahn, is raising 1 billion in fresh capital to support early and late stage blockchain startups. The raise would be the largest venture deal in the crypto sector since the start of the Trump second term. The capital will be split evenly, about 500 million for early stage investments and 500 million for late stage ventures. So what's happening here? We can see while Bitcoin has done incredibly well, as it's going sideways here, more opportunities are coming. People are starting to look outside of Bitcoin. They're looking towards real-world assets, tokenization opportunities, and DeFi in general. And with that, we see then some of these huge funds raising massive amount of money and going towards other opportunities and other projects that are out there. So, buying into early-stage crypto projects and low market cap ones on exchange isn't just something that WoW does. So with that, hopefully you found that useful, and we'll talk to you all very soon.